sometimes Ghana is a country say NPP ni idea free NDC ni wo kra na won pese obe implement on pese wo de be adwuma e bia na ye o and NDC ni so dia de free NPP won pese obe ye now NDC na wa bem na kebeye be hia say nipa Ghana nyina agina tum said education wo yema na ya kono TVET STEM education ni nyina be sha under free SHS na che say onim dia pa na kebe hia say ombetimi a friend on board na wotimi de nim dia na boa bete dey keme ya say na abaya free so enti omo eye de omo akasa pe na doctor you said it may use word bia ano dem be gidi say won so wonen be ya adwen was say the current education minister no e wo mi say omo bie for mi say wa ideas ni ade fabra bet was seasonal politician na je say edru emire bia o de amanyo sem kwa na adwuma o ye hododo and wo hwe doctor yourself adwuma o yo bia ne kasa na ade bia wa ye no no ka ho asem on fa amanyo sem enkwa na yi ho but the current education minister no sanity ne koba ne sanso a e ma ne nye successful because obi wa idea na the politics rewa adwuma mu a nya de say o de beba adisuya pa de Dr. Aduchum akyere eye how the should be pa wa kyere ne bi se ofa de a kebeboa na yentie mu nsem akasa a wo kyese da bi ono de se de manfo bi yon politics wo ministry ni ade nti wo person de ho be for sign me ye former education minister ti oh how na do ye we bebo da bi ono anye na mo se bi oba ne na so de a obeboa abuje yentie mu nsem natural conversation o maye.
Don't force people to go to a certain school. In other jurisdictions where they are community-based secondary education, you go to the school in your community. So in those cases, there will not be any school for the most part left where there are spaces and you don't have enough students. There are a number of schools across the country at the category C level with spaces. But you also have students and parents who want the best for their children, rightly so. I want Presec and I want Presec now. I want Wesley girls, I want Wesley girls now. What does that mean? The double track then allowed the opportunity for parents to have a shot at some of these high-performing schools. So if you look at double track schools, as I speak with you, there are mainly category A and limited number of category B schools that are double track. The rest of them are no longer double track. The children go to school at the beginning, all of them together, and they vacate all of them together. And that is the norm in Ghana as I speak with you.
But my question was to the effect that it got to a point parents couldn't plan. Because the GDS will release the timetable to the students are supposed to report. The next few moments, the students are supposed to come back home.
No, I will tell you this. When you do this calendar issue, sometimes there can be some problem, no doubt about it. So I won't sit here and say there was no challenge. But I'm just saying how the system was working for the most part was what I have described to you. So for example, in some schools, when you don't have too many students maybe doing a certain subject, right? And you have two teachers. A number of times you have a situation where when one track is on vacation, because the ideal thing was that when the students were on vacation, the teachers go on vacation with them. But you may go to a certain school that the headmaster may have made a judgment that because we have limited number of students enrolled in science, I have only 2 science teachers and therefore I will use them when this track is off. So there are some teachers who were adversely affected in that manner, but it was not supposed to be that way. If you're a teacher and you are on track A, when students are on vacation, you have to also be on vacation so that there's no extra burden on you. But sometimes as you implement, there can be some deviations from the norm. And no doubt there could have been some deviations from the norm. But the actual design, how it was supposed to work, was to increase enrollment in the desirable schools. And the schools that had challenges, you allowed them to do the single track. And they had more time to work with the students because now their school day is longer and they have more school days. And therefore, track C, most of your category C schools, almost all of them, category C, are single track.
Is that how come you couldn't achieve your target of eliminating double track before your tenure ends? Because the double track earlier, it wasn't even supposed to have been there for the entire 4 period of your first term.
Oh, no, it's not true. We told the country, I remember the President Kufuor launching in Tamale. We gave the country up to 7 years.
Up to 7
years.
But
so yes,
couldn't do it. Huh?
Yeah. Definitely. It didn't end at the end of the 7 years. You see, double track started in 2018, not the first year.
Yes.
Yeah, so the 7 years was to end with our tenure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the first year actually was to end somewhere even after our tenure, because the first year we started in September 2017. September 2017, it wasn't double track. So you went to September 2018 before double track came in. When we saw the enrollment and the demand in the spaces, that is when we brought in double track to accommodate the growth in enrollment.
It also got to a point, feeding the kids was a huge problem. Why was it so?
No, let me tell you. Feeding children, look at it this way. You have this number of mouths to feed. There are times when a certain school may have a problem. And I'll commend headmasters. They were very creative and innovative. To the extent that when we even did the zonal distribution, if a certain school has challenge, they may go to another school that had a lot of food, and then they will barter among themselves for some time. So headmasters did a fantastic job. But I'll tell you, we've done it. We've done it. No school was shut down at the time. So we did
food.
Not all the time, not always. I mean, I can't tell you, because sometimes when you hear food being stolen, the media, you heard it.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah.
So when you hear those things, what does it make you feel? When we work so hard to get food to schools and somebody's stealing it. So that person who is stealing the food, what food are they going to use in feeding the children?
But what
so this is not a one-way street where you can just sit comfortably and say, why this? That school where food was being stolen, how were they going to feed the students?
But what quantity of the food?
No, I can't tell you. I mean, we run a major organization, 1,200 schools. I can't sit here and conjecture and tell you at this school this happened.
No, so my point is that the ones that were being stolen, even though they are wrong, they couldn't have impacted the program.
No, I'm not telling you that there were no challenges. But for the most part, things worked the way it should be. But obviously, you may have challenges here and there, and that I accept. But I won't sit here and say there were no issues, there were no challenges. Yes, when you run a major program anywhere in the world, you're going to have challenges. But you have to be determined to deal with it and keep it going.
If you are
and we did.
Minister, how would you have solved it?
I will not make that conjecture. I'm not the minister. I'm the former Minister for Education. I'm not going to tell the minister what to do. I don't think that's fair to the new minister who have just come, and the former minister is sitting on TV telling him what to do.
Why don't you allow parents to even take charge of feeding?
I'm not going to make that conjecture, and I have to be clear with you. I'm not the Minister for Education.
I get
I've done my part, and Addo Kufuor, I will not tell the current minister what to do. It's not fair to him. He's a seasoned politician.
Let's go to your time. Why didn't you allow parents to come into
I've finished it. I've done my work. It's over. I'm not going to look back and say, why couldn't this? No. Hindsight is 2020. I did it. I'm glad of my work.
We are building a nation together.
The new minister, I will never tell him what to do. He's a seasoned politician. Haruna is a seasoned politician. I will allow him the space.
I'm not asking the question because of the minister. I'm asking the question because of country building. We are building Ghana.
I will not say it. I will not. I choose to respond. I'm not responding. I'm not going to tell the new minister what to do. Haruna is a seasoned politician. He knows what to do.
Parents offered to feed their kids.
I'm not going to say that I've done what I had to do. The president had done a fantastic job. That is it. If you want the future, future is Haruna. And he's a seasoned politician.
Okay. Now, you said this on 2nd December 2024, and I quote, "We want to make sure that we enhance access to education at all levels, improve the quality of teaching and learning at all levels, and make education relevant to the economic transformation agenda of Ghana. When I sit at the Ministry of Education as a minister, My preoccupation is to ensure that we transform public education spaces, unquote.
Thank you for bringing that issue up.
Did you do it?
Yes.
You achieved this?
Yes. Started. And I did what had never been done before. 80 public schools open one day. Never happened before. Go to East Legon, Accra STEM Academy. Go and see that public school. Go to St. Barnabas, a school that was so dilapidated and run down that it was unconscionable to have children going to that school. I visited the school myself. I saw the level of dilapidation. And this was Osu in Accra. I was angry that this should not be happening, especially in Accra. Osu, the former seat of government, had such a level of dilapidation as in Barnabas that was unconscionable. By the time I was leaving, 8 months thereafter, we opened a new St. Barnabas school, beautiful. We had retrofitted. We had given them new furniture, new uniforms. The school was just like any private school anywhere in the world. And it's a public school. I believe that we've not been fair to the Ghanaian worker. When people pay taxes and work, they should not be left to look for money to educate their children in private schools because the public school is bad. I think it's not acceptable. After people pay taxes, this is the new St. Barnabas School at Osu, when it was commissioned.
Okay.
This school was in such a level of dilapidation that you don't expect in Accra.
Okay.
But we, the managers of the public education space, just looked on. And it wasn't a border. We have become used to building rectangular shaped buildings painted brown, yellow, and we call them public schools. And the middle classes, we don't want it. But not wanting it means that they have to now borrow money to send their children to private schools, and it costs them arm and leg private school education. We, the owners of the taxes, the supervisors of the revenue that come to us should do a better job. And that is what I began. And I'm always super proud of the work that we did in transforming public school spaces.
Okay.
The new public schools, the old ones that we rehabilitated. It's a testament for this nation to see that when you enter a space, transform it before you exit. So it's something that I will always be proud of.
What do you see of the future of Ghana's education?
What we did is there for the world to see. And I hope there will be a continuation of this, that more children will find themselves in spaces where St. Barnabas students are currently being educated. I hope that more transformed junior high schools will be seen in this country. And I hope that our march towards transformation of education through STEM will continue.
Okay.
And when that happens, we have created a more equitable nation. We have created a country whose education system will transform its socioeconomic fortunes, that 20 years from now we'll look back and say we began and it was continuing, and we transform the socioeconomic fortunes of Ghana through education. We did what the Chinese president did after visiting Japan. That is the nation that I hope we'll be able to create.
What do you think you'll be remembered for as a Minister of Education?
I hate telling people how to remember me, but I'll tell you this. I think people will say Dr. Addo came invited by another Danko Akufo-Addo. He saw opportunity and took advantage of it and began the transformation of the Ghanaian education system.
Okay. Nana Ami here is watching us now. He says, what was the allocation made for feeding each student? I learned 1 cedi 97 pesos per student for 3 square meals per day. I currently pay 47 cedis for just lunch alone for my daughter at Roman Rich School. It's incumbent on new media people to interrogate the new minister, Haruna. Okay. So
it's not accurate.
Well, it's not 1 cedi?
It's 7 cedi 50 pesos.
For a day?
Oh, yes.
3 square meals per day?
Yeah. It's not. Okay. What he's saying is not accurate. You see, people confuse high school feeding with